You had a situation with someone named Dustin Heiss who tried to sue you for $1.5 million for sexual harassment, but ultimately he was fined $77,000 for trying to bribe witnesses.
That's why you have to trust the process.
And of course, the case was dropped.
That's why you have to trust the process.
But you still had to be dragged in the media. You had to spend money on legal bills. And the problem is that when someone sues you, and I've gone through this, people sue you, they get a lawyer on contingency. It costs them nothing. You end up spending $50,000, $100,000 to defend yourself.
That's it. You're lucky.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm sure that Diddy's
I spent
bills or whoever's.
$75,000 defending myself against a lawsuit. And ultimately, you go and countersue the person, but you realize you'll never make the money back because there's nothing to take from. The person's has a 9-to-5 job, and if you win a $200,000 judgment, you'll never get it. So it's annoying being in a position that you and I are in because we're targets, but there's no equality in these situations.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but let me just say, even with all of that, because of the privilege that I have, I understand that sometimes those things, unfortunately, go along with the territory. And would I want to be in a situation for someone who is not of means, and who's not getting sued because there's nothing there, or would I still want to be in the position that I'm in, where I have the means to be able to fight back? The system is not perfect. There's room for improvement, but I am not going to sit here and make an excuse for anybody who abuses their power. And sometimes, unfortunately, you or I or anybody gets caught up. People are out to make a quick buck, but usually those are the people who they're out to make a quick buck from can afford to be able to fight those nuisance lawsuits. And so until they correct it, I'm not going to push back against a movement that has done more good than harm.
And we've talked about this before the interview. I asked you if you were surprised that Diddy got no bail, and you said you weren't.
No.
Do you expect him to be convicted and get a long sentence?
Look, I say innocent until proven guilty.
True.
And that's tough to do when you see that video.
Oh, the abuse
because
video?
What they're alleging in the video in the hotel room, what they're alleging in the indictment is there's actually proof of it from a videotape from a hotel of hitting her, dragging her, kicking her, basically pulling her back into the room, which is what? He's holding her hostage.
Kidnapping, essentially.
He's kidnapping. So there is some proof of some of the things. So do I expect him to be convicted on some of it? I do expect him to be convicted on some of it. But again, that's that's a whole legal thing.
Yeah.
So was I surprised that he didn't? No, and I think it's because of the enormity of the charges. I think this is a little bit different even than R. Kelly.
And Harvey Weinstein.
I think it's even a little bit different than Harvey Weinstein. I mean, I think Harvey Weinstein is accused of abusing his power and coercing women into having sex. This is, drug charges, interstate prostitution, all of that stuff is alleged in the indictment. These are RICO charges. This is what you charge mob bosses with. And so, look, do I know if it's true or not, if it's going to hold up in court? But it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, look, I've interviewed...
So I'm not surprised that he didn't get bail.
Like, I've interviewed Roger Bonds, who was head of security for 10 years, and he, in the interview, laid out the actual abuse against women that he saw. Multiple situations with Cassie. He was in the vicinity when Puffy broke Kim Porter's nose and flew in a plastic surgeon. He would see male prostitutes go up into their rooms and, he would be let off for the weekend. I spoke to someone today that said that the Kid Cudi's car getting firebombed was absolutely true. He told me how they were sitting around talking about it when it actually happened. They were actually out of town when it happened. So the level of insanity around what Diddy was doing is a bit crazy.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. Sure.
I'm just saying that for not that I don't believe. I'm just saying allegedly, so that you don't get sued.
Right, because he hasn't been convicted of anything.
Right.
So all this is alleged.
Yeah.
And, maybe it was all lies and he's going to walk away free and drop the album of the century.
I didn't say any of that. All you have to do, Vlad, is just say
Allegedly. Well, you know this better than I
Yeah.
do. You've been doing it at higher levels.
Yeah. According
but
to
yeah.
the indictment.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is a fairly crazy situation. But you're seeing a lot of cases these days, like, for example, the Young Thug, RICO
Down in
case.
Georgia.
Down in Georgia, which is now the longest running criminal case in Georgia history. It's at about 20 months right now, and it's nowhere near being done. It's going to go into 2025.
Wow.
So you're seeing these cases that I just feel like these cases are getting bigger and bigger and more far-reaching. And we talk about things like RICO, which is very gray area and fuzzy. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to a RICO, you don't have to be doing the actual crime. You just have to be the ringleader, or someone has to allegedly be working for you under your command. Sex trafficking is also a very fuzzy subject. A lot of girls will fly out to go see guys and have sex with them. Are they sex trafficking, or are they having sex with the guy?
Look, I don't know
and getting
nothing
flown
about it.
out?
There are no girls flying out to have sex with me. That's all I have to say. Or guys. So
You've never flown a guy out?
no.
You've never established a relationship with a guy and then flown him out to go spend the weekend with you?
I fly my husband. I was like, hey, I've been.
I'm talking about before your husband.
No.
When you were out there doing your thing.
No.
Really?
No.
Okay, I believe you.
No. Get on a plane. Get there yourself.
I don't know. Maybe gay relationships are a little different than,
Yeah, but how is that? That's not sex trafficking. I don't think that's sex trafficking. I don't know the law, but I mean, if you say, hey, baby, I want to come see me for the weekend and we can go
I'm going to fly you out.
We're going to, okay.
But you also have, with male-female relationships, you have.
But are you flying out hookers? I mean, if you're flying out hookers, that's a different thing. If you're flying out someone you're in a romantic relationship with, that's a whole nother show. And I think the law can tell the difference with that.
If you fly out a woman and you give her some money afterwards, is she a hooker, or are you just being generous with her?
Come on, Vlad.
No, I'm serious. It's listen, especially in entertainment, especially in hip-hop, let me tell you, this is a lot more commonplace and the lines are a lot more blurred. This is all I'm saying.
I'll let you have that one. Because that ain't happening.
Well,
that ain't happening. But here's the thing, though. So I say, for me, it's the oldest profession in the world. I have no judgment for 2 or 3 or 4 consenting adults.
Yeah.
Doing what they want to do. As long as everybody's consenting, it ain't my business. And it should not be the government's business if everybody is consenting. So, hey, for me, I know this is going to shock people. Maybe we should, how we decriminalize and we, control drugs or whatever that they do. I think maybe they should, start doing it with other things.
I've always thought that prostitution should be legal at the end of the day, and regulated on top of it.
Well, that's what I meant. I should say regulated.
And you see that in like Nevada, you see it in places like Amsterdam and so forth, where like not only is it regulated, but the women or the men are also tested. So they're not spreading disease unknowingly and stuff like that. There's also tax. There's also security, and so forth, where you basically take out the pimp and the people that are actually like really trafficking women and so forth.
But isn't that what what's that ranch called?
The bunny ranch?
Isn't that kind of what that's about, or no?
That's where what's his name got caught up? Lamar Odom, right?
Yeah, but I don't know about.
But they have that. I mean, they have that, but it's only like in a outskirt of Nevada somewhere.
I think it would help a lot of people if there was some regulation to it.
Exactly.
I do.
There you go.
We're
on the same page.
I have no judgment about people consenting adults doing what they want to do. And of age. Adults.
And of age, of course.
Adults.
Absolutely.